Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. My name is Agnes van Rhijn, and I'm a life and business success mentor to female entrepreneurs and small business owners who want to be successful, whatever that means to them, but on their own terms. I'm also the founder and the host of the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. And today at the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, it is my privilege to be interviewing Stella Fehmi. Stella is a regional director at the Athena Network, the premier global networking organization for women in business. She runs 4 highly successful organizations in the City and West Essex regions and has been boosting business profiles and providing assistance to launching multiple SMEs within the Athena framework since 2010. Now also working with Businessworx virtual professional services, Stella is elevating success levels and providing unrivalled services to the businesses within her regional network and beyond. Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, Stella. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Agnes. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm absolutely delighted to have you here because, well, we are colleagues. We both run a region of Athena, and we are 2 regions that are close to each other, and therefore our plan is really to collaborate. And to start with, we're running our Christmas lunch together this year. So we're announcing it. And we have some other partners and crimes activities, so some other things that we do together. So I'm absolutely delighted to have you here, Stella. So I know you, or at least I know you a bit, but the viewers don't. So tell us more about you.
Okay, well, let's start really mainly with the Athena Network, because it's quite an interesting story. Because 5 years ago, or just before 5 years ago, I was made redundant from my previous employment, and it's weird how fate comes into play sometimes, and how things align themselves. And at the time, obviously, you know, I was a single parent. My daughter was a lot younger. I needed something that I could actually continue with the childcare, and I had this opportunity that literally came into my lap. These things happen, don't they?
Oh yes, I know everything about it.
I mean, because I was working as a manager for the Sport Premier Health Club in Essex, and I one day went along to an Athena meeting, which was local. So obviously, I was going to represent the local Premier Club that I was working for. And I walked in and I met the RD there, which was a lovely lady called Rachel Daniels. And I absolutely was blown away. I was blown away by the positivity, the support, the energy in the room. And it just, you know, when something just feels right.
Oh, absolutely.
I just felt, you know what? This is what I want to do. I know I can do this. It feels just right. How do I get involved? And literally from 2007/8, I was involved with the Athena Network, and I became very good friends with Rachel, who owned the region at the time. And I collaborated with her, and I became like the regional manager. So I was actually running the groups before I took over in 2010 and bought the region. So it was just a win-win situation. And it really has been a journey. It really has. And I say that like many business owners, there's the good, there's the bad, there's the ugly with everything. All of it, you're learning something. And it's always been, I think, for me personally, it's been about me learning more about myself. And when I learn more about myself, I can actually give more value to the people that are around me. So it's been a fantastic journey. And I love the whole ethos of Athena, the whole thing about, you know, she's a Greek goddess. It ties in with who I am, you know, background. I love it. And the whole thing about the integrity of what the brand actually means. It's a very strong brand. It's full of honesty. It's full of it's, the whole thing about us being genuine is across the board, all the RDs are of a high caliber, and they are great colleagues to work with. And being part of this Athena Network has actually just opened up my whole world, because, you know, sometimes it's the people that we meet and the stories that we hear that just raise us to another level.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, and you know, you both of us, if you've seen the small time that we've met each other, look at where we have gone. I mean, seriously, that was just like an instant from the time you came in until now. Look at where we've gone. It's been amazing. And the groups, I found that the women, there's been challenges, because and I think effectively what we do as RDs is almost, we're like the mother hen, aren't we? So we kind of, we're like looking after the flock, and sometimes you have to kind of look after a lot of personalities. So you find yourself sometimes in this kind of place where it's kind of unusual. It's almost like going back to nursery. I mean that in a really nice way.
I see what you mean.
It's really good, and I think, you know, you have to have a lot of empathy as one of your skill sets. I think that you really need to know how a person is feeling. So I think emotional intelligence is really key here, especially because we're dealing with lots of different types of women and different types of personality. And under all of that, there comes the business as well. So there's kind of two sides to it. You've got the personality stroke personal, and then you've got the business and business means to them. And sometimes when you take the hood up, so to speak, and see underneath the bonnet, there's loads of things that we can actually help them with. And one of the key things that I like to do in terms of people coming into the region is actually spend some time with them in like a one-to-one and give them a business health check. And what that means is it goes through the different types questions. It asks you personal things. It asks you a little bit more about your business in depth, and tries to find out the weaknesses and strengths that these lovely young ladies have. And it's a way of giving. It's quite fun as well, because you kind of get a score at the end of it. So it doesn't, because the thing is, you have to answer it honestly. So you mustn't think about the question. So
Stella, it's very funny, because this is a piece that we've never discussed before. And one of the things that I've started doing in central London is that I used to have on my website an opt-in that was an assessment. Are your life and business supporting each other? So because I have a holistic approach, it's looking at all areas of your life and business. And now I'm giving it systematically to all newcomers. Exactly what you're saying. It's an evaluation of where they are in life and business, gives them a score. And because I also give a free mentoring session to newcomers, then they know what they can focus on during that mentoring session.
Yes.
So it's really about adding value. Yes.
So when somebody comes and you get a snapshot almost of where they're at. So that figure, say if it was out of 100 and you've only got 50, that you know there's a lot of improvement. So it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It's actually a good thing.
No, room for improvement.
Yeah, because look where you can be. So that if you kind of then have the same interview or the same one-to-one 3 months later, and then you see the score rise up, you know, everybody feels fantastic. You know, wow, they feel good, you feel good, and we're both doing our job. Because, you know, it's a two-way thing, networking. It's about giving and receiving, but also being able to receive the message as well. Because if you don't do anything to change anything, guess what? You're going to stay exactly the same. So I think slowly, and I think others get it quicker than others as well, but that's with anything.
Normal.
But I am just loving the journey so far, and it's been a real pleasure. I mean, obviously this year alone, when I think back, you know, we was in the business show in May. I mean, it's just gone so quickly. You know, sometimes I have to pinch myself, because even last year, being at the business show in December was one of my one, it was a big thing to go there, and two, obviously with my other Businessworx, I was speaking as well, which was probably the scariest thing I had ever done, because obviously it was to a crowd of people I didn't really know. So that was really daunting. And I have to say, once I got over it, you know, I was like, woo, I done it. It's amazing. It's almost like you say, it was a fear. And I know that you know that book, Susan Jeffers, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. So that was one of the things that I kind of ticked off my list. But I still have, you know, if I was really honest, I do have a fear still of public speaking, and I think many of us do.
Yeah, well, you know, it's something that is commonly known, that even with a few exceptions, that's even you know, very well-versed public speakers always still have the fear before starting. And it's also been said that it's the highest fear that we have, other than being dead, other than dying. So I mean, that's how high it is.
So I'm going to ask you: Do you have a fear of public speaking?
Absolutely. But the interesting thing, you know, about this notion of feel the fear and do it anyway. And you know how much I'm all about, you know, embracing your fear, using it as a fuel, instead of letting it paralyze you. Is that the moment you start, your brain is focusing on something else. That's the thing with fear. Fear, you're focusing on fear, but your brain cannot focus on two things at the same time. So the moment you take any form of action, speaking is an action, your brain is focusing on something else. So it cannot technically, I would almost say.
That is so true. That is so true, because it was almost like as soon as I started, it was just I was in a zone. Really weird, because even yesterday we had the Essex meeting, and it was a beautiful meeting. It was such a vibrant, full of colour, great energy. We was raising money for charity, Walk the Loop.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
we did really well, and it was, you know, sometimes when you have to say something, you know, it was like passion came through me and threw me into the middle of it all, and I just spoke, and it had to be said. It was about all of us, how we're kind of really coming into our goddess, how we're all transforming, how we're all taking, you know, we're all taking a stand. You know, it is the rise of the feminine power. We've seen it. It's happening. We're doing it. We're living and breathing it. And everyone around me is feeling exactly the same way. So I just feel that the whole Athena Network, we're just growing this army of this wonderful feminine power that's going to collaborate worldwide as well. It's amazing. I mean, you must feel it as well, Anya.
Oh, absolutely. I'm all about that. And it's funny because, you know, when I'm going to run an interview for the Women Make Things Happen show, I never, ever have any preconceived idea. But I should have known that this is the direction we would be going into, because we're so passionate about it, that there's no way we could have spoken about anything else. We're all about networking, we're all about collaboration, we're all about women supporting each other. So I should have known better than us speaking about something else.
And what I'm feeling and what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is this new wave of networking on a different level. You know, it is really about being really heart-centered and open and really, you know, and sharing. You know, there's no agenda. I'm sharing, I'm giving, what, you know, welcome to my world, so to speak. And if everybody did that, the world actually would be a better place.
Oh, I am absolutely convinced of that. I think it's all about role modeling. I think it's about, you know, the power of the ripple effect. That's how we can affect others. You can never force anyone else to change, but you can absolutely have an influence on them by being a role model of what works for you. So yes, no, I'm fully with you. That's really something great. And in any event, the more you give, the more you get back. So
I love that. I love that saying you just said, the ripple effect. It's beautiful. I love that, because that is exactly what's happening, and that is what we share. So the people around us, and even, you know, our youngsters, you know, my daughter, you're showing the same thing, and we'll take that forward, you know. So it's a really positive thing. And I think all of us have to really remain positive, you know. And really the Brexit is the proof in the pudding here, because, you know, there were so many of us that obviously voted to remain, but we have to stay united. And going forward, you know, we have to stay positive. We have to make the best deals that we can now.
Absolutely.
So, you know, so again, I'm very confident that I feel the real power of collaboration is going to really explode soon. And I'm glad that I'm part of it, actually, with all of the people that I've met recently. So all is well.
I have, so you know that at Athena we have rolling banners with, you know, so on my rolling banner for Athena Central London, I have printed one of my mottos. My very first one is be the change you want to see in the world, but the second one for me is behind every successful woman is a tribe of successful women who have her back. So it says it all, it sums it up completely.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's a beautiful one, and I'll take you back to one of the first ones that Athena uses, which is the Maya Angelou one. It's about how you make someone feel.
Yeah,
they might
absolutely.
And you see that is my essence. That is what I do. It's almost like I want to make you feel so good, because because that is my job, that is my role, to make you happy, to make you smile, to make you feel really welcome, to make you feel really supportive. And you know what? If I've done that, then I've done my job and I'm happy. And that's what I've been privileged to do, something that I love. And yourself is about helping and empowering women, any shape, way or form, because we know that we embrace any woman, any stage of their business. We love that. Mm-hmm. It's where we take them after. And that's really, you know, coming back to another success, so to speak, through the Athena Network. I met so many wonderful women, and one of them, as you know, is Stephanie Bryan. And through Stephanie Bryan, we've obviously, you know, set up the Businessworx, and obviously now I'm partner with Businessworx, you know, head of sales there. Really a great partnership that's been made in heaven, because Businessworx will allow any woman in business to really let go of the reins when they're ready. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when they're ready to really work on their business and let go of the mundane things like accounting, copywriting, research, VA, that's where we come in. And really, it's a beautiful thing, because now having the Athena Network and Businessworx is a great way to fuse things together, because you can leverage that as well. So it's a win-win for anybody who looking at, you know, logo and branding and websites. It's a match made in heaven, and it's been really good to be able to leverage that and really add value to our members as well. Because when I see a lot of the RDs, a lot of them are coaches like yourself, so you're offering something. So it's always good offer something else, and you're doing a marvelous job. It's a wonderful opportunity, this, to be part of an interview. And I have to say, Agnes, I was again fearful to do something like this. I don't know
no reason.
I don't know why, but now I'm doing it. I'm feeling fine. I feel comfortable, and it is like I feel very relaxed. So you must be
because I run them as a conversation. I don't like, you know, formal interviews. Yeah. And I think that in a very probably selfish way, I'm enjoying those conversations so much that I don't want to stop them.
I can feel that. I can actually feel that. Yeah. So it's actually flowing. So again, you are in flow, doing something you love.
It's all about that. That's the work I do with my clients. You know, when I say my business is called Success on Your Own Terms, that's exactly what it means. The more you're connected to who you are, truly are, the more you're aligned. Because my background, I mean, the core of what I do is personal branding, in fact. So it's all about aligning, you know, the inside and the outside. But then things, exactly what you say, things flow absolutely naturally. And it's interesting what you were mentioning just before about what you're bringing to your members and them feeling, you know, more comfortable and happy and etc. I start with myself, again, the role modeling and the ripple effect. If I'm feeling happy, it's visible.
Yes.
And you convey it to others.
That's it. And
Role
that is
modeling,
really
ripple
very
effect.
important, because people say, oh, you know, how about, oh, your meetings, they're always like positive and da, da, da. And I say, well, yeah, because I set an intention for them to be that way.
Yeah.
You know, so as I go in, I'm going to have a great meeting. I'm going to meet some wonderful ladies. They're going to be full of aspiration and inspiration. And actually, when I get, every meeting I've gone to has been like that, because we set an intention. And that's one of the key things, is setting an intention. You know, how do we move forward with things? Well, sometimes you have to, one, set the intention, but also how else do you, now some people say, how do you stay so positive? Because we all have troubles, don't we? All have adversity in life. And for me, it's been meditation. So I've been meditating now for 18 months. And it's been something that's really key and integral to who I am now. And that's how I feel. And it's really weird when we talk about things changing and transforming. I feel like I'm in the change of transforming into something. And so it's through meditation that I will align myself to my next chapter. And I'm going through it. I'm actually going through this right now with you. So I don't know where it's going to lead me, but I'm sure it's going to be good.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I really love that. It's, I think we all need to find some form of routine that helps us. Meditation for me typically is one. I think also, and I keep saying that to the members also of Athena, I mean, is that when you are arriving at an Athena meeting, the same way you and I set an intention, they need to set an intention for it also. Yeah, I think for me it's really about everything falling into place. It's really that. And one of the pieces of advice that I very regularly give is, as you say, we all have challenges. But it's how we react to them that makes the difference. And one of the key things for me is not to focus on the challenges, but on what works. And hold on that vision of what it is that you want to achieve.
Yeah, I mean, totally, I'm with you with that one, definitely. It's like, you know, there was lots going on, really tired, you know, you could feel like, oh, I don't really want to do that, or you don't want to do that. But, you know, you have to rise above all of these things, because in business, you know, opportunity knocks. And guess what? You need to open the door if you want something to happen. So you've got to do it. So, you know, the key thing is to remain positive all the time. One of them is, again, second thing is to really set intentions. And really the other thing is due diligence as well. It's about doing the research that you need to do, really finding out what is necessary to do. And if you don't know the answers, go to someone who can actually help you, because we've got a whole network of people who can actually help.
Absolutely,
you know, 3 small key things. You know, what else would you add to that? Give me, you give me one as well, because we're on the same wavelength, me and you.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely, yeah. And you know, yesterday at my Mayfair group and the day before in Kensington, I had to fall in for the business development training. So for the viewers who don't know, we have a 10-minute slot that is a piece of training to help the members develop. And I did it on the topic of how to transform your expensive hobby into a successful business, whatever successful means. But so the other important thing, other than the mindset and the networking that we're doing and that we've been discussing, is also to be a professional. I mean, you need to run a business as a business. And if you don't do that, you will never be successful, whatever that means to you, whatever level you put it at. So it's a whole combination of things that we are teaching them, in fact, that we're bringing to them, that will help them find that right balance between their personal life, who they are, what's important to them, and their business. No, it's not easy, of course not.
It's been a juggling act for very long, and I think I've always been a person that wants to be the great mum, you know, the best mum, the best, and you know, something's got to give. You know, you can't be giving to all areas of your life. Something has to just calm down a little bit for you to grow in another area.
Yeah.
So I for me purposely, that, you know, I needed a job, or I wanted to run my own business because I was more in control of the time that I spent with my daughter, because that was very key to me. That was being a mum was a real responsibility to me. It was something that I relished. It was something that I wanted to nurture. I wanted to, you know, put the love into something and watch this grow into a beautiful rose. And when you put the quality of time in, you'll reap the rewards. And that was so important. But, you know, there were times when I had to obviously, you know, my mum, bless my mum, she'd look after my lovely daughter, and I had to go to work. You know, those times sometimes were hard as well, because I felt like I should be with her all of the time. And that's more me, and many of us, you know, we kind of have this kind of guilt sit on our shoulder. Oh, we should have done this, or you should have done that. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to let it go, and just you know, just enjoy. And that's what I'm doing, you know, especially now that she's a lot older, and you know, I can see, oh, it's actually worked. She's a good girl. So yeah, she's been one of my biggest achievements, and I really mean that, because you know, work has always been important to me, but certainly family and my daughter are really number one for me personally. So that's how I see it.
I'm completely with you. Stella, you and I could continue for hours, no doubt.
Is it finished?
But it's already time.
I can't believe it. I thought, my God, what am I going to talk for half an hour? You're telling me it's finished.
You remind me of my very, very first interview many years ago. Must have been 5-6 years ago. And my daughter was then helping me out in my business at that moment. And I said, and I was scared. And I said to her, you know, Julie, I would prefer if you could get out of the room, because already I'm not sure, and I don't know how I will fill the time, and etc. And when I hang up, it was 55 minutes later. And it was meant to be half an hour. There you go. So for the viewers, because obviously the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show can be viewed everywhere in the world, but there are also people who are London based. So tell us where people can find you, whether it's the Athena Network in your region, or whether it is Businessworx.
Oh, two ways is fine. Obviously, Stella.Fehmi at theathenanetwork.com is my email, or just look up Businessworx on the World Wide Web and you'll find me there as well. All is good.
Okay, and Businessworx, well, I will give the link with the interview, but it is Worx, WOORX, not.
That's it. That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one.
That's the one. Stellas, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it. And the good news is that we can continue whenever we want.
Yeah,
we see each other often enough. And so for the viewers, for the listeners, because this is also as a podcast, if you are interested in going after your dreams, if you are interested in potentially reinventing your life, if you want to step into the driver's seat of your life, you can come to me for a complimentary discovery consultation that you can book on my website in the contact tab, and that is agnesvanrhijn.com. So the usual www.agnesvanrhijn.com. Talk to you next time. Next week, I'm having another absolutely amazing guest that I have known for quite a long time, who has a particularity that she has created a life where she can work from anywhere, which is what she's doing. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.